Right at
It's
it.
right in my face, bro.
It's pointed at me.
It's the sun. You're throwing off my body time. My body time sync.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
Internal clock is off.
I'm super glad I got these microphones because this sounds hella professional.
I think it looks quite bitchin', my friend.
Right? It looks quite bitchin'. It's bitchin'.
I think it looks tits squeezes.
All right,
I feel like
so
an entrepreneur.
so today we're talking about sacred geometry, and I didn't know what the fuck that was until you
Yes,
told
I'm
me.
talking about my jingle he refuses to know.
Not the jingle. But there you go. But
Some motherfucker drank all my beer.
I was gonna explain about how you found out about sacred geometry because I had to Google that shit.
Well, as you guys are well aware, I have a knack really for reading about weird shit. And
Yeah. Well, you have a
kinda
knack
heard
for
about it.
finding it somehow. I can't just Google weird shit. You find it and then you go, "That's a real thing," and I go, "You're a fucking liar." And then,
Well, yeah.
and then turns out it's real.
My goal is to accumulate the most bizarre knowledge that I can get free beer at any bar. Right?
That's actually
So
a pretty
if-
outstanding goal. We could do that. We could test
if
that.
I
through.
walked into a bar and these people never heard of the sacred geometry, I could be
You'd be
like,
like, "You."
well, hey, well, did you know this is? And they'd be like, pouring the picture, like, yeah, keep talking, come on, you know?
Yeah. You're like, "Yeah, a Guinness, please, Guinness."
Yeah.
All right. So what is it?
Well, pretty much there are certain shapes, certain patterns that occur in all life. And the very basic building blocks, fundamentals of what we are, even our atoms, excuse me, all the way down to our molecular structure.
Well, you can find specific, like shapes.
Find specific shapes you can. The
Damn.
tree of
Yeah.
life,
So
there's Metatron's cube. There's all kinds of things out there.
there's yeah. The first I looked it up and it's not we can't actually see it, but you know the Tesseract from the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe what the fourth dimension would be like. It's a geometric shape of a cube inside of a cube, but it's really tough to understand because we see in 3D and we live in 3D. This computer we're reading from is 2D, right?
Yeah.
So how can you create a fourth dimensional object you can't see? You know what I mean? So it's tough. That's just something that we can't describe, but it is a geometric shape that's sacred. You can look it up. It's hella dope.
All right, I'll look it up.
But so these sacred shapes or whatever that you were talking about, there's
I'm looking at some of my break. Hold on.
no, you're good. I was gonna say there's like 5 giant examples, and this shit gets nuts because it's not just like, oh, it's found at one place at this one special like location. It's like all over the world.
Bro,
What?
fourth dimension is space time. That's fourth and fifth.
Dude, then the Marvel
Time and
universe
space.
got that shit like to a T correct.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So it wouldn't be flat. That'd be 2D, right? If it's a fourth dimension, they'd have this. But
we
they'd be able
can't
to,
actually fathom
they'd be
it.
able
That's
to
the
see
thing.
time.
That's super weird.
That's
You can
what
make
it
a
is.
shape for it, but we can't actually. We're not even built for it.
Well,
We would never
Einstein
get there.
actually proved that there is no time.
Well, I think that's true. We made up time basically, if you want to look at it that way.
No, there is no time. There never was.
Yeah, because that's if we didn't have time, we'd go fucking nuts,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And every
Yeah,
time you try to look at it, it's always changing. It's never constant.
yeah, I told you I'm gonna be here at 6 o'clock. What else would I tell you? I'd be like I'm gonna be here at we'd shit our pants. But like, okay, I don't know, about this. This sounds hella sexual, but the Vesca, the Pisces, whatever it's called.
Vesica Pisces.
It's
and I
two
don't know
s-
if that's how you pronounce it, but with my voice, I can make you believe anything I want.
It's true. Okay, it's a circle and a circle that like meets together, and in
like a Venn diagram, but fancier.
way hella fancy. I'll
Okay,
put it.
hella
I'll
fancy,
put it in
got
the
it.
video in post production, and I'll show you what it looks like. And I'll show you after.
The Venn
But
diagram
they
is a white
merge
trash
together,
cousin.
and it's supposed to symbolize birth, like it's the perfect unification of like not like birth like a woman's vagina, or
I
not
was
like
about to say, like, I don't
it's like
picture- I don't
like
see
a
the
universal
correlation.
birth of like knowledge, like of learning it. And this
I could
shit's
see that.
crazy. It's the most common. It's on a well cover over in Europe at this fancy ass church. Just a well cover. They're like, what the fuck does this well do? And it's like it was like their meaning of like life. Like they have the universal expanse, like right here. They get water, like it's essential for human life. And they knew about this symbol thousands of years ago. And they're like, how the fuck would they know about this thing? Anyway, So it's in crop circles around the country. So yeah, I know. I'm
Crop
just saying.
circles are a prank. I'm sorry. I don't.
I know.
I don't buy
Okay,
it.
so but how'd they fucking know about it? I didn't know about it till I googled it. So over there, and it's in the pyramids. So the pyramids. It's engraved in the stone, thousands of years old, at the universal expansion of the universe. And they're like, how the fuck do they know they built the pyramids? We don't know how technically. They assume it was with slaves and shit carrying stones, but that'd take fucking forever.
Not assume. No. Being a Jewish man, I can tell you that many a pharaoh whipped my ancestors, and we are definitely damn good at building pyramids.
But it's like, and the pyramid itself is in perfect geometric location with the universe.
Yeah.
Like it's within certain constellations.
Mm-hmm.
It's set up. How the
You know
we
what I
barely
find
know
amazing?
that. Like
You know what I find amazing about that?
what?
The level of precision that the tiles are actually cut for it. You ever notice that? The
it's
rock.
yeah,
Like,
it's
how
not
are they
like
gonna
all
cut-
jaggedy or shit. It's
No, it smooth as butter.
it
Like,
is.
Vin Diesel's head smooth. Okay, like these are perfectly shaped, perfectly formed. There's not even a centimeter off at all anywhere.
It's
They're
weird.
perfectly straight. Now, how the fuck are they gonna get that precise with
With a
bricks?
stone and a chisel or some shit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they had more tools than we give them credit for.
That's true.
That's
They
all I'm
think
saying.
they also think the pyramid was so it had the how do I put it? So it looks like stone right now, but on top it had this kind of like golden point. I don't know if you knew about this. So I found this a long ass time ago. So and it's very basic inside the pyramid, but underneath, like underground, there's like taverns under there, like locations like of nothing. And what turns out, if you have a specific chemical reaction, so you have one point going in this way and going this way, and then a chamber in the middle,
Yeah.
it was just distraction. So if you put, we can recreate the response now, which is how you can do it. But if they knew it back in the day, you put one chemical this side, I wish I knew what the fuck it was, and then one on this side, and then there's water underneath from the ocean, and the crashing, the subsonic motion creates kind of like this weird vacuum type scenario, and it with like electrical, it's like basic minute electrical current. So they think that they had electrical power tools.
So one of the chemicals had to be salt.
Yeah, exactly, because it's
And,
from.
what would the other one be?
But like they
Maybe copper, gas, something.
something.
So
It was
they create that charge.
because there's one side of the tunnel. It's really eroded, like it would create an electrical erosional kind of the tunnel. And so they think that it was you can't generate a whole lot of power with it. Like it's not like you can generate like a power plant, but it's like minute battery voltages. And then they found these canisters with like metal inside of them and like sealed off, and they think it's like basic batteries. So they think like
Pharaoh had a cell phone too, man.
like for Pharaoh had a cell phone,
What are
like
they
for
gonna do
real.
with the tomb?
So that's probably how they got that shit so flat, because it's basic, but like we wouldn't, because we think it's dumb. Like, oh, that's really stupid electricity. But to them, that was like their power plant. Like the pyramids were more than just that, and then they tied it into like this symbol with like the universal being of, creation, like birth, like a universal creation. Weird shit, man. Like I would have never guessed in a million years that the pharaoh and your ancestors who got whipped to be slaves actually had power, like physical electrical power. This is Googleable information. Like you can.
That is nuts.
They find these little old ass canisters that they use for basic batteries all around. I'm like, what the? There's so much shit you don't know, right? Welcome to the podcast to figure that shit out. But
Man, I
anyway,
wonder what they would use it for though.
well, I mean, so that's what I was getting at. The point on top, you could send it to the other one, so you could transmit this small electrical current, like static shock. You can see the electrical current. Have you been in like a dark room and you're like
Yeah.
and then you can see the zap? Imagine that from pyramid to pyramid or some shit.
Now,
You
what-
can.
now,
It's
what-
like early Tesla, like transmitting electricity.
Right. What if they could actually send signals, not just electricity from one place.
They
to
could
another.
legit have cell phones.
Not even cell phones. They could have radio.
Dude, they could have old Egyptian radio.
Man, why don't they put that on Pandora?
I
Like,
don't-
you just don't hear about that. I'd love to listen to.
Oh, that's the wrong country. Hanamaye. That's the wrong country.
Well, I don't know.
Somalia?
My
Is that
ancestors
Somalia?
were in Egypt at some point. I don't fucking know.
But isn't that nuts? Like the pharaohs and your ancestors, your Jewish ancestors, had electricity. Very basic, like 24-volt batteries, but they had power, dude.
Yeah. Us Hebes rule the world.
And yet
You
they
heard
still
it
use
here.
candles. They still use candles. Like, we got electricity. We don't need the light bulb. You know what I mean?
Well, the candle thing is very symbolic.
Mm.
I'm a horrible Jew. Literally, only my mother's side is Jewish. The rest of me is Norwegian Irish, but by Jewish law, that makes me a Jew, even though I was never bar mitzvahed. It's
Oh,
only
was
like
it
5%
15?
of me.
15
yeah.
or 16 when you get bar mitzvahed
I think
into
it's like
the...
12. I don't
12?
even know. Like 12 or something, yeah.
You're a horrible Jew.
Becoming a man.
But anyway, so this shit,
I got nothing good out of that deal.
it can be
numbers and
found
everything.
to the basis of the pyramids. Like the oldest thing you can think of, a pyramid. It's on there. It's inscribed. They can trace it. They can trace the time period way back then. Like, it's old as fuck, and it's everywhere. And so, I was gonna say, so over in like how do I put it? Over in like the Mayan, down there in Mexico, where the Mayans are from, South America, you can find it down there as well. And it says that, right, I said right there. So they believe that it can be a calculationable symbol for time, and if you can understand it, then you can, how do I put it? You can. It's like you can break through consciousness. Like, you can break through evolutionary consciousness and be like, have a deeper understanding of the universe and yourself and the purpose of it. And I'm like, imagine, we think of like people like the Egyptians as really basic human beings, really simpletons, carry the big blocks, you loincloth slaves, you know what I mean? You've seen the film from the 50s of the Jesus movie.
I've seen Moses.
Moses, that's the one, the Jesus movie. And so, like, that's what you think of, but it could be completely different. They could have been like an advanced society with power, with a deeper understanding of geometric, like the geometric north of the earth and the different constellations, and they could have been completely in tune with a whole different wavelength of thinking than us basic human beings nowadays.
Well, they'd have to be, because the level of math it takes to fabricate something is straight without any modern day power tools. This is like mud, straw, and brick type shit.
I know.
I mean,
Keep going, dude.
Have you guys ever seen straight mud? Straight straw?
No.
No, never. Yeah,
Is that-
neither have I. Okay. But even if I had all of King Midas's silver, I purposely said that wrong because it's funny. But even if I had that, if I had all the power tools in the world, I still could not make mud and straw straight. I don't know how the hell they built pyramid bricks out of that stuff at such precision. The level of math involved alone.
It's
The
math.
principles,
Exactly, math. Where'd they learn math?
these
Who taught them
principles weren't
math?
discovered until years later, until I believe Italian scientists came up with it. Way to go. Jersey Shore, your ancestors would be very proud.
We made math, bro.
Yeah. A lot of famous Italian mathematicians out there. But before that, they were using to build pyramids.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like
they didn't
exactly.
find anything. They
Like,
just
where'd you learn
rediscovered it.
math? My teacher, right, in school. It's like, I mean, I don't know anything about Egyptian school, but I'm just saying, someone had to teach them something. They had to learn from somewhere.
Yeah. We're not as primitive as we thought.
And that's
I guess.
way, way, way before it was. You couldn't just go, how do I put it? I can get in my car and go, like, I went to Oklahoma. It took me a couple hours. They couldn't just hop on their buggy and go across the desert to learn from their neighbors. You know what I mean?
Ain't going to college up here either.
I know. It had to be way, way more advanced than we think. I'm telling you right now. And as soon as I saw that, I said, what if they did? What if they did figure out the evolution of our consciousness? What if there was something that we missed by, with our fancy microphones and cell phones? What if we're missing the big picture? Because they didn't have any of that shit. All they had was I don't know. That's all they had. I mean, if you think about it, that's all they had. They had the universe. They had, I guess, math. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just like, I feel like a lot of times,
Understand how.
I mean, you can get very distracted with shit. I get distracted with my phone, with my Funko Pops. You know what I mean? Like, I get distracted with a bunch of shit. If they did, I don't know.
But
It's
they
like, it's
didn't
same
have
with like,
TV.
there's a dude I listen to on my podcast who talks about Jesus a lot. His name's Todd White. Really good, because we've established we're Christian, right?
Yeah.
I listen to a bunch of his stuff. It's mind blowing, but he's fully into this thing because he's given his whole life to it. You know what I mean? Like, he had a whole life change, and then that's all he does. Imagine all you did was understand the depth of the universe. You know what I mean? Like you can get lost in it. It confuses the shit out of me. Just this blows my mind. You know what I mean?
Then in the 1800s, anybody that claimed to know anything about the universe was killed and accused of being a witch.
Yep.
So just think about how far we have declined as a race.
It honestly, with our fancy technology and all this shit, we're declining.
Mm-hmm. Even before that, man. I mean, people building straight services and structures out of mud and straw. Then you got Catch Me Outside. How about that?
Oh, that's okay. There it is too. So it does refer to it says like the female organ of creation, but it refers to Mother Earth's womb and the understanding of the universe is where that comes from.
Okay.
So and then I was gonna say, like, for example, that you see my question. So the Mayans down there, they're known for, well, the Mayan calendar for one, but a lot of they have their own unique pyramids and shit there, you know, and it kind of refers to a lot of them go extraterrestrial with it. You know what I mean?
Well, they had a whole different type of pyramid.
Right.
Theirs was layered from the bottom, right, like this.
Oh, okay.
One section at a time. The pyramids
so
of Egypt are consistently straight. Now, what they did would
true.
be very time-consuming, right? It's layers.
So the Mayans have very rudimentary pyramid building. Very
not
simple.
rudimentary, just completely different. Like,
Is it still
blocks.
just as hard?
Yeah,
Get that mic up by your face. They can't hear you. There you go. And then talk.
Right. You have a box. I'm a Mayan. I'm building a pyramid. I have a box. Look at my box. Around it are bricks. You know what I have inside this box? Do you want to know? I have a slightly smaller box made out of bricks, a little bit taller. And you know what I have inside of that? An even smaller block.
And it just builds up to the top?
Yeah.
Oh.
But you know how they did that? Walkways.
Walkways?
Yeah, there's little walkways and catwalks around the gaps of the block. I think that's smart in itself.
That is smart in
It's
itself.
damn convenient, you know? Like, sure, the Egyptians have pyramids. Can you walk on them?
That's right. Nope, you slide down the
can
side.
Can you walk on them?
You slide right down the side.
Now, what if the Egyptians could walk at a 45-degree angle?
You talking about moon boots?
I'm talking. I don't know. Man, I never.
They
been
got
ancient
power.
Egypt. Maybe they got power. Maybe they got the Michael Jackson shoes. You know, maybe they can just.
And they have radio, Egyptian radio.
No clue what they listen to out there. If you were Egyptian, you listen to Egyptian radio, classic Egyptian radio, of course.
Sorry
Feel
for my
free to call
racist
us.
comment at that point. But okay, and then what was the number you were talking about? So the next one.
There is a Fibonacci sequence.
Fibonacci sequence.
The word of the day is Fibonacci.
Fibonacci.
Sequence.
Fibonacci. What is that?
Oh yeah, smooth like butter.
The
Now, the Fibonacci sequence is a series of numbers that just kind of appear in all of creation. Like how the different shapes form everywhere. You know, you have the nautilus. That's a fancy word for a conch shell.
Conch shell. That
Here's
is
the goat
that was
horn,
another
you know what I
example. It's
mean?
consistent. It's always evenly
It's a
consistent.
spiral.
Yeah.
Right. Well, okay. Again, box. Ooh, look at me, I'm a box. Now I have certain points from everything. Right. The distance from those points and the vines on a leaf.
Yeah.
Will all have a numerical value that is equal to the same thing. The
Fibonacci sequence.
The Fibonacci sequence.
That's tied in with that too. But keep going. The
So-
golden ratio is another thing that they talk about too.
Excuse me.
So
It
what you're
appears in the birth of animals. Like even all animals, they give a birth following a Fibonacci pattern. They have one litter with so many babies. The next one will have so many babies, and it follows a Fibonacci sequence.
Oh damn.
I read about all this by listening to a Tool song. Thank you. Living in Pill, you never hear enough Tool songs.
I'll be damned.
Our drummer was allegedly from our high school.
That's true.
Go Panthers.
That's right. He actually was. He actually showed up to my mom's reunion because he's from that class.
No way.
Yep, and he rocked out the drums. They were like, "Oh, you're from Tool." He's like, "Yeah, I'm just here to enjoy the reunion." It was like a 20-year reunion or some shit.
I always wondered.
And they blew their minds. They were like, they go, "No wonder you're so famous."
You know what I've always wondered?
I'm like,
I wonder how many.
started going
right?
crazy.
I wonder how many people like didn't even know who he was until he got famous, and then they're like, "Oh man, we're best
They're like,
friends.
"Oh, that's
Really,
that
we're
drummer dude.
totally-
That's the drummer
totally
guy.
partied with him."
What a geek." You know? But yeah, that's what they say about the. I think we're thinking the same thing. But you can you take the equal points that you were talking about. You can take it and hypothetically cut it in half, or cut it evenly or unevenly, but it's still going to equal the same ironic calculatable number that is factored into almost everything in life. Which
not
I think
almost everything. Somehow,
everything.
now you could think that if you
they say almost.
Anything,
People say they can disprove it, but they find more proof than you find disbelief.
Yeah.
So,
the beginning of the sequence is 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21.
Oh,
34,
that's different. I've never heard of this.
55, 8. All right, so there's a spiral known as the approximation of the golden spiral, created by drawing circular arcs connecting the opposite corners of squares and the Fibonacci tiling.
Fibonacci tiling.
Yeah. It is strongly related to the golden ratio.
Boom.
Let me show you some examples. Now, I am cheating. All right, I'm a dirty little bastard. I had to pull it up on my phone because I'm only human. All right?
That's right.
I don't have all this crap memorized for your entertainment. I got a life.
Yeah, no, me either. I'm looking at a screen right now.
So if you feel like an idiot for not knowing this off the top of your head, we're idiots too. You're not alone.
Use it the Google.
I just heard about it in a cool song. And then I wondered, could this be the next weird thing I read about?
What is it? Okay, that's right. The golden ratio, because you mentioned just now, it's called phi, P-H-I.
Okay, here we go. Rabbit population. Okay. Fibonacci considered growth of an idealized rabbit population, assuming that a newly born breeding pair of rabbits are put in a field. Each breeding pair mates at the age of 1 month, and at the end of their second month, they always produce another pair of rabbits, but continue breeding forever. Fibonacci posed the puzzle. How many pairs will there be in 1 year? At the end of the first month, they mate, but there's still only one pair. At the end of the second month, they produce a new pair. That's 2. 1 and 1 is 2. Thank you for following. At the end of the third month, the original pair produced a second pair. But the second pair only mate without breeding. So there are 3 pairs in all. At the end of the fourth month, the original pair has produced yet another new pair. And the pair born 2 months ago also produces their first pair, making 5 pairs. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Falls that way in everything.
That's nuts. The Fibonacci. That's a funny-ass word.
It's a guy's name.
Oh. Yeah. Sorry, dude. Yeah. You got a funny-ass name.
We're sorry, ancestors of Fibonacci.
The Fibonacci.
Again, people on Jersey Shore, your ancestors will be very proud of you.
Fibonacci. But yeah, believe it or not, I think I looked that up. I was looking up the golden ratio, and I don't think maybe it was the Fibonacci. It was a word that started with F I couldn't pronounce, so that's probably what it was. But he was referring to that. No, you wouldn't know that answer. I was gonna say who's the guy from Assassin's Creed 2 who's like the genius? But you never played that game. It's
I don't play
Leonardo da Vinci. Back in wherever he was from. How old he was at in Italian history? Florencia? That was fucking early, right? He found the golden ratio in one of his drawings. He also found something called the flower of life, which leads into our next one after that. But that's what he was saying. You could find that same. He actually found out that you can find it in the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Huh.
Like that golden ratio we were talking about. Remember math and the pyramids and the Egyptians, all that shit? That they knew about the Fibonacci sequence before Fibonacci was around. They knew about the golden ratio and how to calculate this shit before it was even around. Before you could just Google it.
People have used the sequence to first start writing about the art of coding or programming computers. This sequence is used to produce random number generators. So if you click on a random number generator on your computer, you get like that.
It does
They
this.
use the Fibonacci sequence. They use it in planning poker. They use it in.
Are you telling me we can hack poker? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you.
We can hack online poker?
Fibonacci could. There's a search technique you can use with it. Lossy compression. I don't know what that means. Oh, computer stuff. Cool.
Computer things.
Mario Merz included the Fibonacci sequence in some of his works in the beginning. Mario Merz is another smart Italian guy. What did he do? Oh, he was a painter.
Oh.
So a painter, very, very good painter, did it. Now, if you, in nature, all right, this isn't just like, rabbit sex anymore. This is getting real. There's a yellow chamomile head flower. The head of the flower, showing an arrangement in 21 blue and 31 aqua spirals. Now I'm gonna hold this up so you can see. Chase, when you read out this, you gotta zoom in on this image right here.
Okay,
I'll
do it in post.
So you can all see this, not live, but you can see this now because.
Wait,
Chase
is it a
zoomed in
flower?
on this.
What's the flower called?
It's called the yellow chamomile.
Oh, this is the painting.
No,
does it have?
This is just a random ass flower.
Let me see. Show me this shit.
It's just a random ass flower. All right.
Oh, that's hella pleasing. Like,
It's
hard
totally
to
real. I didn't make it up.
It's hard to describe. Like when you look at that shit, it like affects my eyes, my brain. It like makes it like looks like it's in motion. Classic.
If you could feel yellow and you look at this, you will definitely feel yellow.
I feel more blue because it's got blue. I'm blue.
I don't
I'm
know.
a diabata.
But the arrangement of the spirals, if you count each pollen place on whatever the little yellow parts inside the flower are called. I don't know if it's called pollen or not. I'm not a botanist, okay? I do this and I'm a critter getter. All right.
You deal with the flowers on the floor. You'd be like, oh, that's a flower.
Definitely a florist here. I don't know dick about flowers. But whatever the yellow dots are called, they actually follow the Fibonacci sequence all the way to its entirety.
Holy
so even
shit.
flowers follow this. The arrangement of leaves on a stem, a pineapple fruit, the fruitless on a pineapple follow it. The flowering of the artichoke, pine cones, honeybees.
It isn't everything. It's everything.
It's everything.
It's
Okay,
literally
okay,
everything.
Okay. It's in everything.
So the universe is calculatable,
Yeah, it is.
predictable.
It definitely is now.
So you're
At
telling
least
me
creation. Sunflower. Some sunflowers. The eggs of drone bees.
of bees?
Yeah. The eggs of bees. You have to be really bored to calculate that
How?
with the
That's
Fibonacci
more than just
sequence.
bored. It's either
Kudos to you.
Fibonacci.
You get free beer for life, like we were talking about earlier. If you could prove that one to me, the Fibonacci sequence, and if you found that, free beer for life for this guy.
He'd be like,
Free
listen, let me tell you about the
beer.
Fibonacci sequence.
It has been noticed that the number of possible ancestors on the human X chromosome, inheritance line of a given ancestral generation,
No shit.
also follows the Fibonacci sequence.
We're
So it's
predictable.
even in your genes.
Everything's predictable.
The amount of chromosomes you have from your pappy and your grandpappy and your mammy and your grandmommy. Guess what?
This isn't even
Thank
about. This isn't
Fibonacci.
even about this. Sacred geometry is dope. This isn't even about that. All of these things I'm tying into, all the ones that I found that were really popular, including your Fibonacci sequence, which is tied to the golden ratio. It always refers to the pyramids of Giza, the people of Egypt. Like what? Oh man, there's so much we don't know. There's
Pascal's triangles it signs in, binary strings, whatever those are. They do sound important, so Google that for us.
right. It's funny because you think, oh, it's just a big ass triangle, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, but it's way more. There, when I read that, it was a video of just a dude, a really smart scientific dude in front of a screen, and he goes, "What do we know about the pyramids? Absolutely fucking nothing." And he goes on for 5 minutes to tell you what we don't know about the pyramid, just the pyramid. Then I'm starting to think that these people, because look right there, the Great Pyramid of Giza, the length of its height to the length of it, what does it say? So like just the length and the base and the height of the pyramid is considered to be the golden ratio.
Yeah. Nuts.
Who taught him that?
I heard a rumor that they were designed after phallic images.
What is?
Pyramids.
The pyramids?
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a penis.
Apparently, if you're a Freudian thinker, you would definitely think.
Well, I
it
don't
has
know.
something to
Maybe
do
they
with
were different.
reproduction or-
Maybe physically they're different.
Maybe it all ties in. You never know.
They had triangle-like penises, and they said, we follow the Fibonacci sequence.
Even ancient Egyptians, bro, as smart as they were, even though they had slaves, it was uncool, ancient,
Uncool.
not cool. Even they was thinking about sex. Everybody's thinking about sex.
This is true.
See, what if that's
I
the
know.
mystery to the pyramid right there? What if we're just finding all these symbols in it, but it's really just
That'd
a guy,
be so
a guy wanted to
stupid.
show that he had a bigger dick.
That'd be horrible. Be
I
like,
mean,
how'd
what?
you come with that? Well, my
Our
penis
generation
was
would do that, would
weird.
they not? I'm 25, you're 23.
Yep.
Our generation would definitely do that. Why
Yep.
wouldn't they back then?
Because we've already established they're way smarter.
It's kind of like, you know, you go through a cul-de-sac, right? And you see everyone's got their lawn trimmed. The one guy that doesn't, the guy that has is the best trimmed. He's like the king of the cul-de-sac. You know, he's like the top.
Oh,
dog.
this dude takes care of his yard.
Right. People are like, oh man, he's got better clean lawn. He's got to have the bigger dick. He won up me there.
Right.
What if that was like the first way of whose dick's bigger? Who's got the bigger pyramid?
Who's got the bigger pyramid? How
Yeah.
would they find out about the other pyramid? They didn't know about them yet.
Competition, bro.
Well, no, they didn't know about it. We can't just call up. You can't be like, "Hey, Mayans, are you building a pyramid?" Yeah, but we're doing it this way. We're gonna do it the opposite. It didn't work that way.
Well, it was supposed to be like a tomb thing underneath it, right?
Right, it's supposed to be, but again,
Right.
they've established that the tomb was actually that place where they dumped all the fucking chemicals and they created the electricity. So maybe the tomb was the distraction. I don't know. I don't know why they cover it up, but yeah,
Indiana
like
Jones couldn't even tell us that one.
yeah, that's right. That was a shitty ass movie. Which one are you talking about?
All of them were amazing.
No,
Harrison Ford is my hero.
not the Kingdom. The Kingdom Skull was. I watch it, but it wasn't that
Crystal
good.
Skull.
Crystal Skull. That's what it was.
That was bad for an Indiana Jones movie. I'll give it that.
You know they're making a new one, right? With Harrison Ford.
You're gonna have that beef kid in it, that Shia LaBeouf.
Nope. It comes out next
Better
year or the year
fucking
after. And
I'm
they,
still waiting on Top Gun 2. Boy, howdy.
oh, we should. It comes out in July, June,
Oh yeah.
something like that. We'll go watch it for
Something
sure.
Like that. I'm definitely
But-
gonna watch it.
That was the other thing too. They were talking about just the idea that pyramids showed up around the world in similar time periods where they had no access to communication. Like for example, we didn't know America existed till whenever Christopher Columbus decided to go over and be like, "Look, I landed over." He goes, "I landed in China," and he goes, "Not China, buddy.
No, he thought it was India.
India?
Yeah, that's why I called Native Americans Indians. He swore up and down he was in India.
Why would?
They sent him out there to see if the Earth was flat, right?
Isn't India near them?
India is nowhere near America.
No, near where he's from.
I don't know
Over
where
in
he's
Europe.
from. I never asked him.
India's right over there. Wouldn't he be like, "Oh, I found India." You're like, "That's south,
They
bud."
thought
Walk
the Earth was
south.
flat. Somebody was like, "Hey, the Earth ain't flat," and he's like, "Bad," you know.
And then he
was
just-
the modern day jackass of our time. He was
I'll
the
get in the
first
boat and I'll
Johnny
find out.
Knoxville.
That's true.
If he was wrong, he fell off the edge of the world. He didn't just, get hit in the nuts if he was wrong. He would fall off the earth into
What?
God knows what.
Had to
else.
be a drunkard. I'll prove you.
See, they wouldn't give a drunkard all those boats. Dude was a madman, a pioneer, like Evil Knievel.
That's
He had to
true.
be sober for that shit.
Well,
Yeah,
and
boy,
then, like I said, you didn't know that they had no idea that other half of the world existed, right?
I had no
that was
idea.
the 1400s. How in the hell did they know before we started calculating time? How did they know each in sequence how to make different types of pyramids around the world? Just that alone is a question that blows.
Somebody out there is going to be saying aliens.
I mean, I have no
Not
answer
me.
to it.
I don't know.
Was there an event that caused people on Earth to like be in tune with the ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, whatever they called it? You know what I mean?
Fibonacci sequence. I think that
To
I think
what made them
If
look?
there was a Big Bang Theory or anything, if God did make the Earth and everything,
Yeah.
and you definitely study nature, you can see all the patterns.
Right.
Everything comes full cycle, even in life.
That's true.
Mufasa said it best: "The lions die, and the bodies become the grass."
Well, then, let's take that
That's
into
what
effect
we
with
guess.
what we believe about God, right?
Yeah.
What? How do I put it? Well, not what makes them better, but how could they understand, and how come we can't now? How come we don't have that kind of enlightened knowledge then? You know what I mean? So for example, if there was some event where God revealed Himself to the world, and then for some reason, they started being enlightened with the universe, and shit started making sense. They started advancing themselves. What about us? You know what I mean? They would, because how do I put it? It's taught to us that they're really basic, right? When I think of people back in the day, I think they're really stupid, and I think we're really smart. But the more that you look into it, it's more they seem really smart, we seem really dumb and distracted. It's
Well,
like
think
we're
about
going in
right now.
reverse.
Think about right now, though.
What about
I
right
mean,
now?
People don't like to read. I like to read. I'm a nerd. My girlfriend reads. Chase reads. People
That's
like
true.
To read. They like to watch people hit each other in the nuts.
Well,
on YouTube.
maybe we're just getting lazier. People rather
are
listen to us
getting
talk
lazy.
about it than read a book.
Everything's automatic. No one's got patience for anything anymore.
So it looks like
They
we're the
want
dumb
instant
ones.
gratification, right? That's what we're That's what we want.
That's what we're built on.
We don't care about anything. I mean, would you rather go out and watch nature and observe it for hours on end to see if the drone honeybee egg matches the Fibonacci sequence? I wouldn't. I got better things to do. Back then, they didn't have better things to do.
That's all they had.
Except die. It was like, at the ripe old age of 40.
That's
like,
right. So they were like, our life's short. Let's learn all we can.
Francis at 20,
You're right. That's exact. You answered my question to a T.
Study. No Facebook. Why not?
I'm
going to go out and learn something.
That's it. We're claiming it. All this shit, get rid of it. It's just wasting your life. Just kidding.
Go out in the woods.
But that's a really good point. I never thought of it like that. That's all they had.
Yeah, they didn't care.
All they had was the universe, the connection to life itself. And now we have, where's my phone? I can't find my phone. That's what I have on a daily basis. Speaking of that, where's my phone? Oh, it's in my pocket. It's in my pocket. And you can go to the golden ratio. The next one is the flower of life. So it's a circle and a circle and a circle and a circle. And it goes all so there's a big circle, essentially, and it connects to each other in a big circle. And those interlapping sequences make like a flower shape.
Yeah. For our viewers out there that can't picture this.
I'll put it on the video, though.
Venn diagram, right?
Oh, you know about the flower?
Everywhere.
And it does make like a flower because the middle one's here and then it has little petals on it.
And it just continues like that. Real trippy stuff. Yeah, I was the one that showed you about this, remember?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
I've
Yeah,
been
right.
reading about this,
Da
trying to
Vinci.
understand.
Da Vinci found the flower of life form and its mathematical properties. Smart Italian dude. And then from studying that flower of life, you get the golden ratio. That's how he figured that shit out. So, again, no shit. This is blowing my mind. Another reference to Egypt, the Temple of Osiris.
If you were to look at all this right there, though, you see the certain patterns.
Over 6,000 years old.
Everything like this. If you were to study it all, you can't tell me that this shit happened by chance.
No.
There are even patterns. Man.
No. Every
artist has like certain brushstrokes you can identify by.
Right.
Every creator's got their little quirks that make theirs.
So these are God's quirks. These are God's little notes for us to find.
Well, yeah.
It's
not random out there, and I find comfort in that.
Me too.
I do.
So that's the funny thing. So a lot of people. So for example, they could go, "Oh my gosh, there's." This is all extraterrestrial. This is all beings. Other beings know this stuff, and I'm like, then who taught them? How'd they find out? That's the funny thing is a lot of, we're aliens, right? So someone came to visit us, hypothetically. Let's take this scenario into account. An alien comes to our planet.
They have to get past that wall first.
They don't call
2020.
Right. They don't call themselves an alien. They call themselves whatever race they are. We call ourselves humans. They call them whatever. We're the aliens they're studying. Does that make sense?
No, alien, somebody that doesn't belong there. That's a fancy word for that. It wouldn't be aliens. It would be
right.
subjects.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So like when we think of an alien, we think of a dude on a different planet, way way far away, right? So hypothetically, if they thought that exact same way and they came to Earth and they saw us driving our cars, burning shit out the back, driving, they'd go, "These aliens are fucking weird," We're the aliens, right? Mm-hmm. If that's why it's funny because you can tie. Because did you ever watch that Prometheus movie about the Alien franchise? How the Aliens movie came to be?
No, but I've seen the movies.
So there's
Alien movies.
Prometheus is the pre movie before Aliens. It's how aliens got to be, right?
Okay.
So
I watched them after Requiem or Predators.
Predators? Oh, this came out. You have to watch it. It's really good. To be honest, it's by Ripley Scott. He's a really good director. But so they get in the spaceship and they go to this planet that they found. How do I put it? They found clues in places on Earth about this planet, right? It's in the future. They can go there. So this crew gets in there. They go there, and it turns out this unknown planet. It looks like a basic moon, and they find this big ass temple, and that's where they find alien eggs. So they can trace it back to these aliens that created a bunch of life through the universe and distributed it, and we're just one of them. Another one is aliens, right? The alien creatures. It's like a I don't know if it was created to like destroy or to kill. It was created to be a bad thing, right? Now, these godlike creatures are like buff builder dudes that have like flat noses and stuff. Anyway, But then it poses the same question. A lot of people go, "Oh, we're created by aliens." Take this. They go this way with me. I know I'm talking a shit ton.
No, bro.
But
always
so take this with me. So if aliens hypothetically created us, right? Who create? You can just trace the line. Who created the alien? Who created us? You know what I mean? So you could be. So it gets deeper than just, oh, aliens exist. They're here, and that's what it is. That's why all this exists. No, because then it just comes down to stuff like this. This just pinpoints it on more than just living and creation. It's more of like.
Is this sequence found on other planets, other universes?
But they wouldn't call it the Fibonacci, right? Exactly. They'd call it something else.
Call it, yeah.
It's, well, as far as we can tell, it's a universal predictability of the universe, right? Like with that code, you can predict events and things that happen. That's fucking dangerous. Like if someone could figure that out. I mean, if there's
some really smart misunderstood person out there that could just like predict the Powerball numbers for me. And if you were watching our show,
well,
Papa needs comfy chairs. These are horrible.
Well, I was watching that Joe Rogan with that physicist, or that I guess he's technically a quantum physicist if you want to get specific. But he was saying that if you can understand that level of knowledge and that level of universal understanding, for example, how atoms work, how you can control them, that kind of shit, you could essentially control time, past, present, future. You could do a bunch of shit that seems impossible nowadays. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, a lot of this shit, and the flower of life's the most common. It's been around forever, and you can find it everywhere. But Egypt, China, India, Japan, Turkey, Spain, Italy, it's all in
Aren't
different.
churches built around one of those shapes too?
Yeah.
I know they build churches around one. I think it's Metatron's cube. Metatron's cube.
Yes, that's the next one.
Okay.
Yep. Tell me about that cube.
Well, off the top of my head here, I'm just spitballing around.
Oh, you're good. You can look at the notes if you want to.
The angel of life oversees the flow of energy in a mystical cube known as Metatron's cube. This is, I believe it's a Kabbalahism, right? Which is
it's a unique shape.
Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism. It's a very badass shit. It's where you get the Hamsa hand. All you basic white girls with that tattooed on you. Guess what? Hebes rule the world. Definitely a Kabbalah symbol.
That is what a lot of chicks get that, and they're like
no
under their
idea
chest,
what it means.
right here, like on the back.
Not clear what it means. Keeps away evil.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I should get that tattooed.
Keeps away curses. I'm getting it for sure. Not because I'm a basic white bitch, but it's like the only cool thing you get tattooed from my people. All right, so Metatron was a scribe for God. God would give him the word. Metatron would give people the word of God. Right?
Damn.
Kind of like you got the Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah.
You got that guy with the big mustache. Nobody's ever seen the wizard. Not no way, not no how. Right?
Yep. That guy. Yep. Hate the Wizard of Oz, but keep going.
So, God would be the great and powerful Oz, right?
Right.
Metatron, the angel, would be the who rang that bell guy.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Deal.
So, he's never seen the great Oz, but like he talks to him and gives the word to the people. That's what Metatron's job is.
Holy shit. You don't have to read from those notes. It's just pinpoints. Tell me what you know.
Well, Metatron's cube contains all geometric shapes in God's creation and in sacred geometry. It's a combination of all of these. Everything.
All the shapes.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And he, I guess, looked over the tree of life. I didn't know about all that. In the notes here. Sends creative energy down from the top of the crown
of the
tree toward all the parts of creation.
It's a lot going on in the image if you look at it. I'll put it up there later, but it's a lot of shit, and it does. They have diagrams of how the path and how things flow down and equally distribute between the shapes and how those shapes can equally kind of like equilibrium in your life and the tree of life. And it's some of this shit's blows. I say that all the time. That's my catchphrase. Blows my mind. That's gonna be my catchphrase. Because this shit always baffles me.
Howdy.
But yeah, there's a lot going on in that shape. But I'm pretty sure it can be tracked down to even like the formation of crystals and like DNA structures and like you were talking about. So like at a certain point, it doesn't matter which sacred geometric shape you study. They all pretty much tie together. They all tie together with the basis of creation. So like I said, if somehow somebody, some misguided person wanted to rule the universe, they could take the golden ratio Fibonacci sequence. They could study. They could give their entire life to studying these shapes.
Nerds, put down the World of Warcraft in your mom's basement. Drop that bag of Doritos.
You could win the lottery.
Look at these random ass shapes and find out a way to time travel.
Time travel.
Time travel. Like I said, put down the Doritos. Put down your magazines. Find time travel based on shapes, or you ain't shit.
Dude, that's right there. Archangel Metatron. Yep, has the malleability and the physical universe, which is actually composed of atoms and thought out energy. He can help you with universal energies for healing, understanding, teaching, and even bending time.
According to the lore, yeah.
Yeah. That shit. Hello, you could time travel. You could understand the depth of the universe.
We can't time travel. Somebody that hasn't had brain cells killed off like us, from fighting and drinking. Somebody that doesn't have that could definitely.
Smart people.
Smart people.
And apparently Italian.
And people that read. Yeah. Put down the weights, Jersey Shore. Put down the weights. Quit spraying.
I almost just fell off that chair.
And just study things. Just study things.
But as you can see, that's all the shit that I had on that. And
that's the only purpose in life, I think, man. To
learn
life experiences and then to pass it on. Everyone is a teacher. Everyone is a student. That's the purpose of life. Everything you learn in life, the only way you will ever have a legacy is if you learn, you pass it on.
Right.
People need to get that. I mean, you're missing. Yeah, they found this shit out years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
What have you learned? What are you going to pass on? What are people going to remember you for?
I can barely understand this right now.
We got the Cliff Notes. I mean, there's a lot more out there. This is that Spark Notes website.
This is like most of this came from I hit Wikipedia, and then from Wikipedia I went throughout the internet. But that's also crazy too that I can actually do that. That I can just go on my computer, find all the stuff, and then just
we have all the knowledge we can access whenever we want, and we watch cat videos.
Actually, they watch this show on YouTube.
I wouldn't watch this show on YouTube.
No, don't watch it.
Here he is.
There's Wally.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Arf, Wally. Who is it? But no, that's it. That's all I had, dude. I mean, it's.
You gonna boop into the camera?
It's too much, but it's also not enough. It makes me want to know more, but that
Did they find out why my dog is so cartoon looking?
Because he's.
Figure this out.
Count the hairs. Maybe he's got the Fibonacci sequence in there.
I know he's got loose change in these. I'm still looking for rent money in these wrinkles.
In those wrinkles somewhere?
Shake them out for the rent
You're like,
money.
I swear you ate some quarters, you turd.
I know you hide them in here somewhere. Dog is all pockets.
He's just all pockets of fat.
He's all pockets of loose change.
Yeah, I want to know more, but I know I never, ever will understand. And I guess that's part of being a human, huh?
Yeah, we're only human.
Either way. Sacred geometry. It's a thing. Do your own research. Make your own time. Maybe you'll figure out time travel.
Maybe. Maybe you'll find a way to cheat poker. Remember us in our very uncomfortable chairs here.
Yep.
May that evil be on your head now.
Hey-oh. And then, yeah.
Killed with the horrible, uncomfortable chairs have been passed on to you now. That is your burden.
I got to look at more shit on Egypt now.
That's on you.
We got to do one Egypt one.
All
right, y'all.
Fat lady saying that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
To show you it ain't all tacos and titties out there. Thanks for watching.
Bye, bitches.